good. Did everyone get a chance to look at the minutes? Yes?
Yes.
Are we ready to approve them?
Yes, I make a motion to approve the minutes
Great.
from the last meeting.
Can we get a second? I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Great, the minutes have been approved. Let's jump right into the WLS report with Francis.
Okay. Hope you're all enjoying the warm weather. Now, I trust that you all, or most of you might have attended the library trustee training of last Tuesday on the 19th. It was well attended, I think over 200 or something.
It was, yeah.
And I certainly did, and I enjoyed it. I've already received my certificate, I'm sure.
I got my certificate.
Okay.
I
Now,
carry
the next
it proudly
training-
in my PDF folder.
The next training is going to be in about 2 weeks' time on Tuesday, November 16th, and it will be on the conduct of library board meetings, which is very relevant to what we are doing here. And then the last training in this series will be December 14th, Tuesday, on personnel matters. Especially for the administration, that should be interesting. I understand all the trainings are recorded, so you can have an opportunity to review.
Do we know if you review them, if there's?
Yeah, interesting question. Even before you finish, I know the question.
All right, good.
Yeah, whether
Go
it
for
counts or not. That,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was wondering about that. Okay, let me check on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not mandatory yet, so it's okay for now, but. and I
Yeah,
don't
not
know.
mandatory. It starts in 2 years' time or
Right.
whatever, 2023.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting. I was thinking about that. Does it count if you're not there in person or not? I'll try to find out
Thank you.
and let you know. As far as the board is concerned, WLS board, we are now busy preparing the budget for the next fiscal year. So our budget and finance committees have been working on a draft. At the last meeting last week on Tuesday, we reviewed fairly in detail the draft that they prepared. So we expect at our next meeting later this month to review the budget and possibly approve it. So that has occupied our time. I've had the opportunity to to circulate the October Executive Director's report. This was an initiative by the Executive Director that started early this year. He started it casually and then it's picked on, and it's being increasingly appreciated by the board because it summarizes within 1 page or two, in a few pages, the broad activities of the organization. Which makes my life easy to report things to you.
It's very helpful.
As well.
Yeah, and it's nice to have a
Yeah.
reference to look back on too.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right. And then at the end of the year, we'll have an annual report as well on top of that. So now, as we draw to the end, towards the end of the year, we are expecting changes in the board. Some terms are coming to an end and so on. So the nominating committee is busy trying to see how to replace those board members who will be leaving. I think about 2 or 3 should be leaving. And so we expect some changes. Also, in this whole mix, we expect that maybe new Rochelle might be providing the vice president for the board starting January. So we'll see how it goes. That's all.
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you, Francis. President's report. I'm just going to report on a couple of things. We did not have the crazy month that we had prior to the last meeting, but we've had an eventful month nonetheless, and I'll just give everybody a quick update on where we are with the strategic plan. We had the draft plan submitted to us last Wednesday. November, what was it? I mean, it was still October. I think it was last Wednesday, the 27th. And currently, Tom is having staff review and will send comments to me by anytime tomorrow up to midnight. I don't care. Saturday morning's okay. And the board, our board of trustees here, will be reviewing as well and sending comments likewise early Saturday morning is fine. I'm going to be aggregating all of the comments to send back to Public Works Partners, but not before our strategic planning committee with Corey and Sarah and myself and Tom meet to discuss and kind of make sure that we can reconcile comments that may be in conflict with each other. We don't know what that will look like, if that's even a possibility, or if it is a possibility. We don't know if it's something we need to be concerned about, but we will make sure the comments make sense before we send them back to Public Works Partners, who will then take, and I just want to urge everybody also to comment on the graphics, the template and the layout as well. What it looks like visually is important. If there are suggestions for images that you'd like to see, or you think that would be impactful for the public, and remember, this is a 5-year document, so we want it to be something that we're all really proud of, and I'm sure we will. So after we send it back to Public Works with our comments on both the content and the graphics, they will turn it back around to us before Thanksgiving for sure, and we will have another opportunity, I believe, to make any last minute final tweaks. Certainly any eyes for copy editing and grammatical errors, although I have seen few so far, will be appreciated, and then we will have our strategic plan. So it's been a long, long road, but very exciting. I think there are a couple of other things that Tom might mention that may appear for the Special Projects Committee. And I think I will leave it at that for now. Thank you. Tom.
Thank you, Whitney. Just in relative to staff input, I did scan and send you a number of comments from various departments a little bit earlier this evening, and I believe that more will be forthcoming by tomorrow. So I've been in touch with people. So they're working on it, and I think to date the staff had some, very thoughtful, useful sorts of comments that I think we can use. So looking forward to that.
Me too. That's great. Thank you.
Yep, of course, it's important, our blueprint. Library operations, it's been not so long since we last met. Of course, we're meeting early because of the holiday conflict next Thursday. And we are, again, seeing a gradual increase in activity in the library in all areas, and children, adults, teens are really using our space, which is great. It can be a little noisy, but they're enjoying it, and that's really what we want. We're seeing more and more people use the library, frequenting the Friends bookstore, our programs, etc. So it's been slow though, and we're not nearly back to where we were prior to the pandemic. We're looking forward to that day, or those days when they arrive. Relative to other things, again, it's fairly brief. Our New York State construction grant, the pending grant for Main Library and the Huguenot Children's Library for the 3rd floor renovation and the replacement of the air conditioning units at HCL are still pending. I believe they have been sent over to the state of New York, and so the New York State Library and the Dormitory Authority will be looking at these grants, asking questions. Fortunately, we have Elise Burke of WLS, who is the person sort of in the middle that mediates and does an amazing job for us and multiple other libraries year after year after year. So we're waiting and ready to deal with those questions. Jean also always works well when they come in. It's a real team effort. And hopefully if things go as we expect and have seen in the past, a final decision in our favor will be announced in June of 2022. Monies will arrive in October 2022 for that 3rd floor renovation and our work at HCL. And relative to the 3rd floor, if we descend down one story, one set of stairs, 2nd floor is moving along. As a matter of fact, this week, lots of furniture, fixtures, equipment showed up, and it looks great, and more to come. But workmen have been in the library all week, putting it all together, and it really looks good. Let's see, we're still waiting to hear from the school district in terms of future collaborations. We do know that this theater will be the site for town meetings through the end of this academic year, which we're thrilled. PTA Council met here last Thursday, and it was Deirdre's idea. Again, we hosted them, they stayed later, that was fine. And I've encouraged Deirdre, the PTA Council, take advantage of our space. We want to be used. You know, we're trying to create all these linkages with our friends and colleagues in the school district or their advocates. Let's see. I was going to talk about the Trustee Workshop, but Francis did an excellent job. No need to go further. Two more to follow on November 16th. And there's one in December too as well. The Thanksgiving Day, not Thanksgiving Parade, which is November 20th. I do have 3 board members who are able to participate, and a few have said they are unable to participate. At this point, all things are a green light. Hoping to meet around the Huguenot Children's Library. We'll be holding our banner. And not only will myself and the board be there, but some staff members. I know at least Chris Sellen from the foundation, Joy Levy from the Friends, and we're hoping for more too as well. But it's always it's a fun event. Many of you here have participated. Unfortunately, no float this year, which is really it's unfortunate because a lot of people spent time building it and decorating it, and of course it was stored at the barn at Ward Acres and did not fare well because of the roofing problem. So it's a disappointment, but the parade is a fun opportunity to just be in the community and, you know, strut our stuff about who we are, and not just us, but our advocacy groups too. But if anyone's interested in attending, let me know. And for the people that have indicated, I've sent information, but I'll send more information as it appears.
What time do we need to be there?
Usually it's about 9:30. And it takes a little while to set things up. And then, you know, we'll march down North Avenue, you know, come to, you know, North, and we'll usually go down North, and then I believe the parade route will be from North, we'll take a right, wrong direction on Main Street, and we'll end there. So it's a good opportunity to let people see that, you know, we're here in the community. We're proud to be part of the library family.
Do we have a banner?
We do. We have a banner that we will be holding, you know, with grommet and a metal rod. So, you know, so we have that. So we won't look like people and say, who are they? None of us have hit that celebrity status, though Beth, as a real estate agent, you're probably more visible. Anyway, just my final element in the report, it's just that Friends are back functioning, and sort of an exciting tomorrow and Saturday, because indeed their first holiday monthly event since the pandemic. And so they always have great items in addition to their bookstore. They bring up all sorts of things from the bowels of the basement here. And if you're trying to do some early holiday shopping, it might be worth somebody's time to stop and take a look at what they're selling. So that's it.
Just one question. Tom, when you were saying the numbers or the attendance isn't at the levels where we were before the pandemic, have you been able to do any tracking in terms of the demographics? Is it older? Is it school-age children? Is it younger children?
It tends to be younger. It's skewing our staff sees.
Around middle schoolish or elementary?
We're seeing the elementary students, certainly during the summer, Lucille. We had a fairly successful summer programming effort outside of both buildings, and teens as well. We're seeing lots of younger people and younger families. We're not seeing as many senior citizens, which was really a mainstay prior to the pandemic, and for the obvious reasons that people are anxious about being in a public building, you know, where there's not a vaccination mandate, but people are required to wear masks. So, you know, that's, you know, but what the interesting the interesting thing is that we do see people, now, we did stop our curbside, which was tremendously popular. We talked about maybe reinstating it at some point, but we are seeing lots of people placing holds and coming in and sort of grabbing them, checking them out, and really not hanging around very much.
Right, okay. And how are you tracking it?
Well, we're not in a position to really technically look at the demographics. It's just more anecdotal.
Okay, yeah.
But it's definitely a younger cast of patrons than we've ever seen before. We've always had a great mix.
Yeah.
But our seniors have not really decided to rediscover us yet.
And did you see an uptick after the family fair? Did you
We
see
did,
any?
yeah.
Oh, I see.
And we're seeing, you know, what's interesting, we did see more people, and the second floor, which as you know, is looking better and better, we're seeing more and more people using the space. And people are particularly using our meeting rooms and our study rooms. And they've become more popular. We've added more. We're actually hopefully be opening 2 new study rooms on the 3rd floor. There's been some delays because of our custodians, who do a great job, have been doing a lot of it themselves. And there's been some building supplies that they haven't been able to get, some wiring, et cetera. And we're told it will be arriving soon. And we're hoping that these study rooms will be open in 2 weeks. But we're seeing lots of use there. And what's exciting is for our 3rd floor renovation, we'll be adding more spaces like that, because that seems to be a real trend, phenomena in libraries.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
You have more?
Just personnel report.
Yeah, great, thank you.
I had said at the last meeting that we had recently concluded a very successful effort in terms of recruiting and interviewing and hiring new staff. And tonight I'm going to ask for a resolution, legally we need to, regarding the hiring of 3 new staff members. And they are, I'll put it all out there and ask for a move and then a second. Librarian 2 in circulation, Milton Cobb. His annual starting salary is $66,223, and his start date was November 1st this year. Librarian 1 in the adult services area, Brian Zamek. His annual salary is $57,552, and once again, his start date is November 1st. 2021. We also hired an hourly librarian 1, an archivist. Her name is Patricia Perito. Her starting salary is $26.86, and the start date was yesterday, November 3rd, 2021.
Great. I can make a motion to approve the hiring of the librarian 2, librarian 1, and hourly librarian 1 positions, so stated by Tom. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Great.
Thank you.
They have been
They
approved
were-
for hire.
And
Congratulations.
thank you. No, we're very excited. Milton started and Brian started this week, and they are just doing really, really good job. I know the staff has a new supervisor in the circulation area with Milton, and people are really feeling very positive. He's such a nice guy and smart, and has a real tech background, and listening and asking questions, and just and Brian is as well very good. And Patricia, she just started, and I'm sure she'll do well. So we're really excited about our new hires, and more to follow. And I'll just very quickly give you an update. We've been interviewing for the library assistant. It's a full-time position, and that position will be located in circulation and also work on the first floor information desk. We had a strong crop of candidates. We interviewed through Zoom. We narrowed it down to 5 candidates, and we're interviewing all 5 of them Monday and Tuesday, and we're excited about that. We have a good group of panelists, including Milton, who is in charge of that department, Kira Aiello, who's our adult services head, and our two clerks who have been involved in managing the circulation department prior to our reconfiguration. So we have good candidates, and we're hoping that by the end of next week or early following week, we will have made a decision, made an offer, check references, and then go forward. We had looked for a children's library assistant, and the children's staff interviewed a really strong candidate that they are preparing to make an offer to. And she has experience, she's young, and they're very excited. They thought she had a great personality. She did well when they did the test run of a program, because she had done programs for children before. That's a crucial part of the job. And so I don't have her name formally and a start date and salary, but I think we're working towards that. I would expect it sometime in December. The assistant director, which is a really important position, we have gotten a good crop of resumes, and we're starting to go through them. I sent them to Whitney, but Lucille, if you or anybody on the personnel committee would like to take a look, I could forward them to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Would love to hear your input, or anybody else on the board that might be interested. It's an important position, and we're wanting to make the right decision, obviously. And what we're thinking of is initially have a Zoom interview. I'd like to involve my department heads, because they all will be working with that person, and then any board members that would like to participate. But the second round will definitely be we'd like a board heavy participation, because of, again, that job and the role that they will have, here at the library and in the community. The programmer position, we've been told by civil service will get posted in the near future, which would be great. It's been in the offing for quite a while, but that will move forward. Last but not least, we have an hourly custodial position, a laborer position that we're hoping to post. I'm not quite sure about the civil service schedule for that, but that's it. Happy to answer any questions if anybody has any about that whole process.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is great. Thanks, Tom. Okay, committee reports. Before we get to committee reports, though, I just have a plug. I'm going to make a plug for these. I think Lucille was on, and Francis was on, and I was on these kind of education courses. And I just want to say they kind of rounded out the experience of sitting on the library board as a trustee. To me, I felt that they added context, and I learned a lot. And it was a kind of high level, which actually someone complained about. They wanted more kind of anecdotal, like examples of what people might be talking about. But I'm just going to say to my fellow trustees, if you can do it, I highly recommend it. It's not required yet, but it also made me feel really good about being a trustee. They were very expressive of their appreciation. It's a really meaningful role, and it helped me understand that more deeply. Obviously, I'm here. I feel that anyway, but it was a really nice way to kind of add color and some more kind of meat to the experience. So that's what I want to say. Thank you. Budget committee. Budget committee, we don't have anything. I think I'm on the budget committee. Nothing yet, right? Buildings and grounds, nothing for the moment. Community relations. Danielle's not here.
I have a report from Denise
Good.
Link, if I just
Please.
briefly find it. Give me 1 second, sorry.
No worries.
Oh, darn. Thought I had it. Sure.
Okay. Finance Committee? Just going down the list here.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
So Finance Committee, so we went through the process of finding a new banking relationship, and we narrowed it down to just one bank. And it was really, there were two banks that were front leading. It was M&T and People's Bank, but People's Bank got acquired by M&T, which worked out well for us. So we're awarding the banking relationship to M&T, but it's going to be managed by the previous relationship from People's Bank that actually has a relationship with the library already. So that'll be going out tomorrow. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could I just ask, I just had a text from our custodian, in which he said, does anyone here have a Mercedes SUV?
Yes.
I'm parked somewhere.
I'm not,
Yes.
I just asked him why. And he says, thanks. Okay, that's not the answer. Yeah, I guess we just gave it to him. One or two. Hey,
It's
Rob,
fine.
can you tell me what the issue is? I think we have two.
Some say that.
Blocking the driveway? Is there somebody in the driveway? And what color is it?
That's me. That's me. That's me.
Black.
That's me.
SUV?
That's me.
That's
That's
yours?
Oh,
If you
great.
would, Corey, if, Rob is, I guess Rob is,
Okay.
he will move out and then you can repark.
Okay.
it, if that's
Yeah,
okay?
that works. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, he'll be
Great.
right out there. Thank you. So sorry. I did get the community relations report.
Excellent.
As we do it. Denise Link, of course, is our outreach coordinator. She's doing a fine job. She's involved in the community in lots of different ways. And she sends Daniel and myself sort of a summary report of her many activities, which I'll run through. She is apparently has been working with Hudson Valley Justice Center, the ERAP legal assistance, working with helping people that qualify for that program in regards to direct representation advice for low-income folks who live in our region. And she's listing some dates in November. You can reach out on our webpage. She's also been involved working with People USA, which is one of Project Hope's great programs. It's a COVID-19 crisis counseling program, provides information, support, education. And it's coming to the library. It's here in the library, in our lobby, on Mondays and Thursdays in both November and December. Of course, we have our job search help coach, Rebecca Mason, who is here every Tuesday from 5 to 8 p.m., who will help with resumes, will help with cover letters, with job search strategies, interviewing techniques. She's really very good. She's a professional. She works for other libraries for the county. She also consults with corporations in regards to HR issues. So she's someone that has helped a lot of people here in our community either get a job or improve their job situation. Great. Let's see. Denise, again, has been involved with outreach efforts that relate to the mobile food pantry at Isaac Young Middle, New Rochelle High School. She's involved in working with students for orientation, we have a new sort of volunteer, bilingual human services volunteer, Albert Alexis, who's working in the Help and Learning Center along with Denise, linking New Rochelle residents to support services throughout the Westchester County. He has a broad-based experience in terms of connecting families to services that are community-based. Civic and citizen classes are continuing both in person and virtually, both on Saturdays and Thursdays. Registration is required. And our Help and Learning Center that Denise mans so ably, available most days during the week. Go to our website as well. Learn more about it.
Thank you. Great, that brings us to the Personnel Committee. Lucille,
Nothing to report at this time, but hopefully
next month. Good, thank you. Policy Committee, Beth.
Yes, Charles, Sarah, and myself met via Zoom, and we researched what other libraries have put together in regards to their policies and procedures regarding the First Amendment. And we put some things together, and we will be putting an email together to both you and Tom so we could go over how to basically put together the resources and guidelines for our library here and put some kind of policy together.
Excellent,
Thank
good.
you.
And I think I emailed you that we have some more policies for you three to look at. We will in the coming weeks.
Okay.
So stay tuned on that. Thank you very much. Special projects, last but not least. The driving force of that committee right now is the strategic planning process, which I already talked about. I would like to just kind of talk about what happens after our strategic plan is in hand. So presumably all of us here will be very well versed with what it says. And I want to make sure part of my goal with Public Works is that we have, what do we do now? And we have an understanding of, what are the first steps? So I anticipate the Strategic Planning Committee, once we have it in hand, we kind of come up with a plan, right? What are the first things that we do? What does this look like? And we hope that it'll provide a large overview with our objectives and goals, and then steps to take to try to meet those goals. And we need it to be somewhat comprehensive. We need it to be transparent, and we need to convey that to the public, that this is what we were, what the public and the community members expressed to us, and this is how we've packaged that into a guiding document, right? And here's how we are responding to that. So I'm just putting that out there, and welcome thoughts and suggestions for, how we kind of remain organized and keep the vision going.
Can I ask one question? And I realized I was late, so I apologize. You had mentioned that obviously you're waiting for comments from folks. If there are material disconnects, obviously you'll, as a special project committee, look at those. But will there, if there are material disconnects, is there a plan to have a broader discussion with the board if people aren't kind of coalescing around the same thing?
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, the process can be as as much as we need it to be. The only consideration is our agreement with Public Works. So,
I would say this, in my view, this is important enough that if we, maybe everybody will be coalescing around the same thing, and so there's no need for a discussion. But I would say that the strategic plan is kind of, I think, after hiring a director, we're almost on the same plane, that I think that if there's needs to be a sort of further discussion, that we should make sure we make time for that. And then if we have to pay Public Works partners more money because we have to go through another iteration, that we do that.
I agree.
I would, in my view.
I agree, and I think that if there is a huge disconnect, we've probably missed something along the way, because we haven't,
And hopefully there won't be.
Right.
I'm just saying that if there needs to be a discussion, I think we should just do it.
Agreed, and we've already extended the process by a week. They were amenable to that. I think they're kind of eager to wrap up.
Yeah.
We could certainly do an additional services request to extend the time by another month or so, and I think that's within the realm of definite feasibility as far as budget goes. They're very they've been very reasonably priced and well worth the money. So that's, I think, a good point, and we'll keep that and take that into consideration. And sorry. Sorry, did Corey have something to say too?
Oh, no, it's a little bit counter to what you said. No, it's just, I thought we did a good job of getting enough feedback from the community. So I think if, from your point of view, your comments, you had to have the board completely make sure we're all on the same page. 'Cause in all honesty, we are represented by the people, and that's who voted for us. So to your point, you represent thousands of whoever voted. And so, your voice should definitely be given. But I think from the general community at large, we've made ourselves completely accessible and completely open to charge ahead onto we're all on the same page. And as to your point, as we go down that step, the next steps, we should always refer to per our strategic plan, this point, we're moving ahead with that. So that way, from the community, they feel like, oh, we agreed to this already, right? So there's no surprises for them. So that's it.
That's great.
The one thing that I'd like to just mention is tied to Whitney's comments about where do we go once the plan is in place. I would love to see some sort of board staff steering committee that maybe talked about, how are we achieving this? What are we working on? Does it have a budget implication? Maybe it doesn't really cost a lot of money. But I think having the intersection of some board members and staff members from different areas, they don't have to be librarians, they could be a clerk, they could be a custodian, they could be anybody that was interested in, seeing the library move forward and using that document as a springboard to helping it go forward. I think would be good. I'm always troubled if we don't use the document, a document that has cost a lot of money and a lot of effort to use it as it should be used. To help us.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that's a great idea. And, staff and the folks at the library are the implementers of everything, so they would know.
But they
need the guidance
of the board and the
absolutely. I think it would make a great partnership, and we can consider how, what kind of form that would take, how many sessions, and what does it look like? Is it an ongoing thing? Is it just a few times?
maybe on an annual basis, an opportunity, or for a few sessions, maybe prior to a budget, creation of a budget, where, because if there are some things that really are important and they have a dollar amount attached to it, we should know about it.
That's great. No, I think it's great. I mean, you're our conduit to the
Yeah,
staff,
and
obviously, but
but I want more than just me. I want
right. No, but
people who are literally more on the floor than I am, who have insight and connection.
Yeah, and I agree, and I like that kind of collaboration. I think that's really smart. I think that's it. I don't think there's, I think the other elements that are not really ready to, not have enough information about a few other things to discuss them tonight. There doesn't seem to be anyone for public discussion. Nope, crickets.
Can I just pile in one thing on the plan? I would just really urge everybody to look at it and really read it.
Yes.
'Cause this is I remember when we did the last one, I was here for the tail end of it. This is the most important thing. So please carve out the time, read it.
If you need more time, let me know.
It's really important.
Yeah. If you need more time, and this is what we had said to Public Works last week, we don't want to forsake the quality and the impact and anything else because we've run out of time. This is a 5-year, right? A few weeks here and there in the scheme of a 5-year plan is nothing. Mm-hmm. So this is something your name is going on for 5 years, and we want to really feel like you've put your mark on it and that you've given input and asked questions, ask for clarifications if something is unclear, if you're seeing something and it doesn't quite make sense. We need to know that, because if you don't understand it, then the average person who's reading it is not going to understand it. If there's a misperception somewhere, if there's something misstated, we are the experts here, and we really need to make sure that we're kind of embodying that for the purposes of a 5-year plan. And thank you, Chuck, for saying that. I wholeheartedly agree. This has been a labor of love for sure. And some other stuff. Good. Anyone else have comments, questions?
Parking passes?
Parking passes?
It's usually in a 12-month time period. Is your parking pass expired?
I don't think I've gotten one
I
either.
didn't get one.
I didn't
when
get
came
one.
back. That's what happened.
Yeah. I didn't get one for this cycle.
Well, I will get onto that.
Thank you. Good. Okay. Well,
I
then
got
if
a ticket
there's
last time.
no further,
That's awesome.
anyone else? Nothing? Then I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good. Any opposed? Good. Thank you.